All right, everyone. Thank you for joining First Team Wednesday's trainings. We appreciate you being part of First Team Real Estate and part of today's training. We got Terry Karges, going in a new way to farm, and he's going to dive deep and it's going to be exciting. So, Terry, you're on.
Thanks, Greg. Thanks to Lynn and everybody who helped with this, Kaylee, everybody in marketing, they did a lot of work behind the scenes to help put together something that'll be able for you guys to use, I think, and really make a difference for you moving forward. That said, I made my slides and they're pretty bad, so please ignore any lame artwork or whatever, but it's pretty straightforward. Hopefully you guys get the concept and the strategy here. And so when Lynn and I came up with the title for this, we were kind of struggling, right? And so after thinking about this just on an ongoing thing, trying to really get to the core of what this is, I had most of you probably all know Stephen McCloskey, who heads up all of our incredible development and IT and all of that stuff, along with Jim Logis. Stephen is working on a real big, cool project that's going to help a lot of you, especially you farmers out there. And I talked to him about what the end purpose of what he was developing was. And he shared this line here, to move people from cold to connected. And to me, that just really resonated. And so I kind of modified a little bit of it. The idea still is to help you get more listings for sure, using today's technology. But really the idea is, when we're dealing with sellers or buyers or whoever it is, or even us as managers, we're meeting recruits. A lot of times it's for the first time and they don't know us. They haven't done any research on us. They haven't seen us. They haven't seen us either online or had a chance to meet us. So we all know when we're going to meet a seller for the first time and you've never met them or had any previous interaction, you're kind of starting cold. And so this plan is kind of a strategic, as it says, strategic integrated marketing plan using First Team's tools along with today's technology to create you as the top of mind brand and position you as the go-to trusted neighborhood real estate agent of choice. So, yeah, let's get into it. I wanted to ask you guys, what are you here for today? And what would you like to get out of this? What would make it worth your time? We've got 1 hour here, so I'm going to try to plow through this. It probably won't go the whole hour, but depending on questions and all of that, the most important thing for me is that you get this whole concept, because there's different pieces of this that have been talked about by different people, but I don't know that I've heard anybody really tie all of this together in one strategy. So what are you guys hoping to get out of this based on what you saw as the original title, or any comments about why you're here today?
I started my farm and I'm just looking for any insight. So that's why.
Very good, Ryan. Well, good. I'm glad you're here. Anybody else? You may need to mute Ryan, Greg, I think, or whoever that is.
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think anything that just sets us apart from everyone else that's farming. What's different? What's innovative? What's a differentiation between us and all the other people that are out there?
Okay, cool. Well, for both of what you guys said, I believe this is going to absolutely do that. And so I'm excited about this. Believe it or not, I first introduced this strategy, I think it was 2015 or 16. I believe the first time was in Fred Nassab's office. So some of you in the Rossmore office, some of this may look familiar. Some of these concepts may be familiar. But I think even then when we were talking about it and I was going over it, I hadn't distilled it as clearly as I have kind of more recently. So, or if you're at the Anaheim Hills, I think it was 2016 or 17, Bob McCullough and I at the golf course there did a presentation similar to this, but again, it still wasn't as cohesive or comprehensive as it is now. So Greg and Ryan, those are really good points. And I think you're going to walk away real happy today. So With that said, there are a couple pieces I think you guys, if you are here a lot out of wanting to be a good farmer, knowing how to farm at the highest level, I have to tell you, you got to go back and watch these previous recordings. I'd like you to write them down, do a screenshot, take a picture, whatever they are. Bob Gattuso and Mark Kojak did the Farming as a Career Choice Part 1 and 2. Those are the dates there, 5/25 and 6/8. You can find those in Together We Are First Team Loop. And then Marcel Atala did Farming Territory Management on 5/26. And again, everything that they talk about in those is 100% on point. I'm not teaching anything different. All I'm trying to do is add another component to it. And let me tell you why. We'll get into that in just a second, because I did see a need, and I saw a bit of a void with certain agents. More is really part of it. So whether you farm a geographical location or a group of people, what's the ultimate goal of a farmer? And if you were on any of those, especially the Farming as a Career Choice, you probably would know the answer.
Making a connection.
Okay, making a connection for sure.
Getting a listing ultimately, yes.
Well, but I mean, making a connection really is kind of how you distill it, right? At the end of the day, and that's kind of part of that title, Cold to Connected, right, Greg? So when we're cold, we don't know those people, there is no connection. When we've done something, when we've put our branding out there and we've met them face to face, when they've seen our Instagram or whatever it is, we start to build a connection. So the goal we have down here to become known as the neighborhood expert, or that group expert of whatever, if it's your SOI, and the trusted go-to agent of choice. Okay. So how do you do that though? How do you become that go-to agent, the one that they trust, that they know you're the neighborhood expert? You've got to know your market inside out. And again, this is more from some of those previous trainings. I just wanted to re-emphasize how on point all of that is, and stress that none of that changes, right? You have to do the homework. You have to own your farm 110%. You got to know every single thing that's going on there. You've got to meet everyone. You've got to build relationships with them. And it's not just building relationships. They have to know, and they have to believe internally that you are that neighborhood expert. And how do you do that? Because you know all of the deals that are coming up, all the buyers that are looking to move into the marketplace. You know who the builders are, you know all the floor models, you know all the HOA information there are, the schools. There's a lot that goes into it, right? The history of the city and the area. Dig deeper. Again, you hear Mark was real good about talking about go deeper, not wider, right? And so the part that you're going to have to always do with all of this is to just go be the expert and put 100% into it. So, but one of the challenges I've seen over the years is we'll hear these wonderful trainings that are kind of detailed step by step. But as I pointed out here, guess what? Not everybody follows that, right? Not everybody, you get the clear pathway to how to go do that. And then we have a few people who do it and they crush it because what is being taught works, right? It is the most effective, most affordable, sustainable way for you to build a repeatable and saleable business. And so, but at the end of the day, some people still don't go up and knock on that door, because that is one of the key pieces behind a lot of this, right? But what we do see is, guess what? And some people say, yeah, I went out and I was farming today and they were dropping, or they're sending out mailers to their farm, right? Some people do online stuff with Nextdoor or maybe different pay-per-click ads, whatever it might be in their area. And some people host the Facebook pages, the group pages, right? And all of that. And some people don't have a geographical farm, but they may farm, again, more their SOI or a specific group. And all of that's fine. But, what do you think is behind the root of people not door knocking? Is it that they hate to door knock?
Yes.
Fear of rejection.
So Greg, I
hate door knocking.
thank you for saying that, right? So I think when we talk about door knocking, we just talk about that one activity and we go back to the new title I put, Cold to Connected. So how many of you guys have run over to your neighbor's house for a cube of butter or some milk, or or run across the neighbor to say, hey, your dog came out, or whatever it might be? The people that are in your immediate circle on your street, how do you feel about door knocking on their home when you have some information to share with them?
No pressure.
It's no pressure, right? So again, that's the concept. It's not necessarily the activity, it's that we have no connection, and we are knocking cold. So what I want to do here today, the goal is to increase and predispose those people behind the door or wherever they may be in a group or whatever your choice of farm is, to be predisposed to have a connection with you of some sort. And we're going to talk about the different ways that you do that. Would you all agree that, again, if your entire farm, that you knew them like your neighbors, door knocking would be less of an issue, at least for some of you?
Absolutely.
Okay. Is Greg the only one, I guess?
I agree.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So again, if I can help move a few of you, this isn't going to be for everybody, guys, because here's the challenge. There's a hard part to this one, right? And it's equally, I will share from what I've seen, just as few people that like to go door knock are going to be, there's going to be that same amount of people who don't like to do this upcoming activity I'm going to share as another alternative. Again, I'm going to suggest doing all of it is the best, but there are some people who are more comfortable doing different activities. And so we want to give some options here. So the solution is this strategy that we have, a comprehensive plan using First Team's tools, as we said, and technology to create you as the top of mind brand and position you as the go-to trusted agent and real estate expert of choice. So a lot in there, but again, I spent a lot of time thinking about that, right? You can be the neighborhood expert, but you may not be their go-to, right? And so there's a lot we have to work on. So this is it, guys. If you walk away with one thing today, it's going to be this triangle. And the concept of everything being integrated, truly integrated. So strategic marketing that is integrated with one message, one purpose. And here's how the flow goes. We use traditional marketing like print, but with a different purpose, right? And so our purpose today has always been to get the message out and my brand, and then it goes straight into the trash can. We're going to repurpose that traditional print because it is a very good tool still today, but we're going to talk about how it's going to drive people online. That's going to be the focus, because that's where we're going to try to get people predisposed to knowing you, liking you, trusting you, building that connection, so that when you do meet in person, there's a higher likelihood of conversion, higher likelihood of building a relationship, higher likelihood of you becoming that agent of choice. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, guys. So what's the number one challenge for most agents today, just in general, with every agent in their business? What's the one thing agents struggle with and are always searching for?
Leads.
There you go. Who said that, Tina?
Yes.
Nice, Tina. Look at you. So not enough leads. But I challenge you guys. So the lack of leads is really a direct result of a bigger issue, right? The fact that we don't have enough leads is just something, it's a byproduct of a bigger challenge. And if we correct the bigger challenge, we can anticipate having more leads. The root cause of the lack of every agent is that they're invisible to most of the people that they want to serve, right? How many times have you seen another sign go up in your farm or had a family member list with someone else, and you're angry and you believe that they totally screwed you over and they should have known that you should have been the agent, that they should have called you, right? Well, you're invisible because of your own results, right? Your own lack of being at the bottom here, as it says, you were not top of mind as the go-to trusted neighborhood expert or local market expert, wherever that area might be, like if it's your SOI. So that's what we have to fix, right? And so how do we do that? So we just talked about part of it. And also, how do we know that is the case? So let's take a look at these stats. So this is from CAR from last year. And this talks about how agents found, or how clients came across their agent. And I want you guys to take a look. I don't know if you can see my arrow, but from this line above, and look at the stats, 40, 55, 68, 70, 90, whatever. We've got the majority of all business is done how? Client was a friend, relative, neighbor, represented them in previous transaction, referral from a client, recommended of friends, recommendations of friends, referral of a business associate, sorry. So would you guys agree, all of these people, these agents that got this referral, this recommendation, they had to be top of mind, they had to be trusted, and they had to be known as an expert. Otherwise, you don't get those referrals. This is from National Association of Realtors. And this, the highlighted part equal, you had to be the top of mind trusted go-to person. So 47% of buyers used an agent that was referred to them by a friend, same thing. And 13% used an agent that they had worked with in the past. So they kept in touch. Okay, so we're at 60% on the buyer side. 90% of buyers would use their agent again or recommend their agent to others if they were top of mind and stayed top of mind. So you've got 60% of buyers going to you already if you position yourself as that agent. And then you've got a 90% return rate. There's another key to that we all know. We know the number one failure is follow-up, right? So the key here is to remain with those past clients as that top of mind, and that requires lots of follow-up. Now let's take a look at everything we're more interested in is the listing side. So 68% of sellers found their agent through a referral, friend, neighbor, relative, okay? And 53% said they used the same agent to purchase the upleg, the other home. So you got two deals out of 50% of the time. And it says a share that rises to 85% if a purchase is within 10 miles. It says that the typical seller recommends their agent twice since selling their home. 27% of sellers recommended their agent 4 times or more. So I hope you guys can see from the stats between CAR and AR. And I can just tell you, in our office, and I don't know if we have any other managers on here. I know Tina and I work together closely, but maybe the other managers may want to chime in. But in my office, we have seen a massive shift since the pandemic to just about a 90+% rate of SOI, past client referrals. And what's interesting about that is we talk about it in every sales meeting. We want to get to the root of how did you get that deal? And we'll also ask, did you have to do a listing presentation or go up against anybody else? And what do you suppose, because they were top of mind, trusted go-to agent, how difficult was their listing presentation?
A lot easier.
They didn't do one, right? Yeah. And if they did, Greg, you're 100% right. It was a lot easier. The other thing it found in here, and I don't know if I skipped over, I may have not included it, but the majority, I believe it's 80, here it is right here. I just didn't highlight it because it wasn't necessarily getting business. But look at this, 82% of the recent sellers only contacted the one agent, right? So if you position yourself top of mind, you're getting those referrals, you're getting those leads. This is what we want. We want all of that to come to us. And then we still have to perfect and master our listing presentation, guys, right? We do. We have to be prepared at all times. But the goal is to be in such a place with them that they're ready to list with you, right? And so what kind of agent gets all these referrals? It's not the invisible ones. So we have to take a look at, if I was one of your clients, if I was a past client, how many touches did I get from you last year? And maybe, and write that down. If you currently aren't reaching out to the most important group of people, your SOI and past clients, on a regular basis, the least expensive, the most loyal, the highest effective rate, all of that. If I'm your past client and I'm not getting things on a regular basis, then we're missing the ball, and we've got to correct that. So let's look at that plan on how we treat past clients. There's a bunch of wonderful programs out there. One of them's Client Giant, and there's a bunch of others. Send out cards, mailbox power. There's a lot of different great tools that you can use that automate some of it too, and that's what those do that I mentioned there. But that's critical, guys. We cannot be invisible. We've got to get in touch. We've got to make this a priority, because again, if we don't want to do some of these other tougher activities, then we've got to take care of the easy layups, right? So I got this from Marcel's previous slides. This was a great quote from Seth Godin. Frequency led to awareness, awareness to familiarity, and familiarity to trust. And trust, almost without exception, leads to profit. Okay. So are you being frequent and building that familiarity that leads to trust? And again, you guys need to take a hard look and really be honest, because again, you've probably all heard someone in the office say, I can't believe they went with so-and-so. And really, we should be looking in the mirror. We shouldn't be getting mad at them. We should be looking at ourselves to figure out, where are the holes in my business? You should get a meeting with your manager, get a one-on-one together to make sure you have a detailed, thorough plan, and leverage our incredible marketing team. Again, the abilities and the resources that we have here are unparalleled with any other company. You're not going to find a better way to make as much of this work turnkey as possible, other than First Team. So I'm so thankful for all of the different teams and support we have. And you guys, if you haven't tapped into it, again, meet with your managers right away to find out, how can we help offload this? I think Lynn's on here, who heads up our incredible freelance team. That's the biggest no-brainer ever. And so you've got to, if you haven't looked into that, a lot of the stuff that the next couple of things we're going to talk about here may be outside of your comfort zone as far as how to handle and technically do them. And so that's where you're going to lean on our freelancer team. So let's take a look at those three components again. It's critical that we tie all three together, right? Far too often we send out a just listed card that's just the news, right? It may not even really truly have your brand on there. It'll probably have First Team's logo and your headshot. But if that's going out one time and it's a just listed, have we gotten deals from that? Yeah, but we're missing a massive opportunity is the real key. So that print, again, needs to have a call to action to drive people to want to go find out more information and have a chance to make a connection with you. So when we get to that online presence, that's where the online marketing kicks in. That's where that I need some more coffee. We breed that familiarity, right? So that ultimately, when we do show up at the door, or they visit our open house, or they come to one of our events, they feel like they know us. Think about celebrities or movie stars and all that stuff, right? People think that they actually know these people because they've seen them on the big screens using other people's words with these scripts, right? But the public has a general sense that, oh my gosh, Tom Cruise is such a great guy, or whoever their favorite actor is, or rock star, or whatever. And the reality is they don't really know, but it helps put those people in a good position. So for you, the idea is to create a presence where they feel they know you. We have lots of tools and data to find out information about them. And that's one of the pieces that Steve McCloskey is working on. We also have Title Toolbox. There's a lot of different things for you to get information on them. That's critical. That's super important. You need that. But it's more important for them to know you, right? So in-person events, we'll talk about that too. So the print traditional ads right now, how many people on here can say this? Does your print marketing promote your brand? Does it promote, do you have, and by brand, I mean your business reputation, right? Because brand isn't just your logo, guys. It's not a slogan, right? Your brand is your business reputation. It's what people see and believe in you from the collective efforts that you have put out there, right? So is that message going out there? Because if not, we should take a look at that. Is there a clear message of value that you're sending out? And does your marketing currently have a call to action? This is really the big one for me here that predisposes homeowners so they feel like they know you. How many people on the call currently send out your print marketing with a call to action on a regular basis?
Would that entail a QR code leading to
Yep.
your website?
That would, Joy.
Okay, then I do that.
Good job. Good job. And I know you tie a lot of this stuff together. So I'm very proud of you. So good job. So again, guys, we're missing an opportunity if we're not leveraging that print card. We're paying a lot of money to get those out, even if you're dropping or mailing, especially, or whatever it is. Any piece of marketing you're doing, we're seeing QR codes on for sale signs now. And people can do a home tour with the agent by scanning the for sale sign because they see the QR code. So we need to really, again, the pandemic brought those back, but it really is kind of, I think, opened everybody, revitalized the technology and made it clear the importance and how in real estate we can really take advantage of it. So yeah, that's the twist we need to add is get that call to action, add your YouTube channel. So how many, okay, here's another one. And we almost should have had a survey, Greg, but that's okay. We got one on the QR code in the call to action. How many of you guys have a YouTube channel currently?
I do.
Who is that?
Ruchika.
What is it? Sorry?
Ruchika.
Ruchika. Okay, wonderful. Good for you. What's the name of your YouTube channel?
It's just the name, my name, Ruchika Gupta, Realtor at First Team Real Estate.
Okay, can you put it in the chat? And I'm going to request everybody go to her YouTube channel, subscribe to it. Let's boost her up. We've got 88 people on here. Let's get some new subscribers for her. Good job. Proud of you. It's a big step, right? And you're the only one who stepped up and said you have. Maybe we have a couple others on, but very proud of you. That's you're leveraging free technology, right? And how many YouTubers are out there that are making millions of dollars, guys? Like, this is an amazing, basically it's your free TV channel, right? That we never had access to prior to this new technology.
Ruchika does great market updates. Everybody should check it out.
Wonderful.
Thanks,
Okay,
Jeremiah.
good. Well, I'm sorry I didn't know that in advance. I could have used you here, but now I'm really excited. So that's great. Great to hear. So, okay, so you guys get it. So it's no longer about sharing the news or just the branding, right? Those are important, but we need the flyer to drive people online so they can get to meet Ruchika. They can get to know her, like her. And guess why I'm going to trust her? Because she's giving me market updates that are relevant, that are on point, that are accurate. And I see her having success. I see her, and I haven't been to her website yet or her YouTube channel yet, but right. That's the idea is I'm going to see her. And here's the other beautiful part. Is you get to, how are you going to do the market update? Well, First Team already creates one for you every month. So you basically have your script all ready for you by just printing out our very own market update. You can give a market update for every city, right? And so it's, you can go county or you can go city. So it's an amazing tool. And to show them that on your market update on YouTube and for them to reach out to you to get a copy of that. So again, very proud of you. So again, we'll talk about, here's one example of a print card with some QR codes and website. Okay, and this was one of the first cards that really hit me as a powerful one. This was done by the Williamson team. And they put the big icon, kind of the iPad on there with the video play button. This resonated with me the second I saw it. I thought it was probably the most powerful postcard I'd ever seen, because this was a straight up call to action. It wasn't about the information necessarily on the card. You could see that this was about a house, right? But there was a direct call to action to go learn more about that home. They even have the film strip on the back there. So this is one of the first pieces that really, so all credit to the Williamsons and their creativity for an amazing postcard. And they were happy to share that with everybody. And I want to thank Kaylee, because Kaylee has been working behind the scenes, even when she was out of town over the weekend, helping to update and bring some new postcards to us. And so I've got a few here to share with you. But so this is the version we're going to create a campaign for you guys. And the good news is it's going to be ready in, I believe, I don't know if Kaylee's on the call, but I think we're shooting for mid-July.
Yep, I'm here, Terry.
There you are.
July 13, hopefully Marketing News will.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Kaylee. So, and maybe you can dive into the QR code on this a little bit, but what we're doing, and I'll show you guys the samples here, but hopefully you can see on the one side, you're going to have the branding and the news. On the back side, you're going to have the call to action for that specific card. So this one in particular talks about, it's like our high profile marketing. And on the back, it says, learn how First Team's unique marketing strategies deliver more qualified buyers at using either option below. So you could visit my YouTube channel or scan the QR code. Okay. And so these are samples for you guys where you'll put your YouTube channel in and your QR code. Hey, Kay, do you want to share a little bit about the QR code and how that works? And again, just to let everybody know, don't freak out if you don't know how to use these or whatever. We've got our whole team of freelancers, and we'll even create some simple videos. And we also have Tina on here who will be able to do some trainings as well. But Kayla, you want to share anything about the QR code part? Maybe make it not scary.
Well, that's the biggest thing. I think a lot of agents I hear when they're trying to learn just get intimidated by it, right? But it really is a very, very simple thing to do. There's a ton of free QR code services. I mean, you can literally type into Google and say free QR code generator, and all you need is a link, right? So your YouTube channel, it might be your actual, video link. That's what you need to copy and paste and generate your QR code. It really is that simple. Where you get more complicated is the tracking elements, right? So if you want to dive into that, that's always an option. We do have a service that we use, and we're always happy to help you generate a QR code too if you need us. So don't hesitate to reach out to our team. We do have a platform and we can store your QR codes. We do pay for a service. We use, and I'll drop it in the chat for you guys too, what QR code service we use. But it's QR-code-generator. And what we can see is actually the number of scans and what city they're scanning from, not the actual person, but again, just repeating though, you don't have to pay for the service. It is a free thing to do. So there's a few how-to videos that we've created for QR codes, but I can certainly share that too, along with, and we will when we announce the postcard series, right? Just making sure you guys know how to generate your QR code, but it's really just a matter of that link. Another thing I will mention that Terry and I spoke about yesterday is you could, for each postcard, you might want to generate a new QR code. You could do one and it could just land on your YouTube profile link. But if you wanted to drop them, and I would certainly recommend dropping them directly to that specific video that's relevant to the postcard. So for example, here, we're talking about media or magazines, right? So you might have a video that's relative to all the advertising opportunities that we offer. You want to drop them directly to that video. So yeah. I would certainly recommend that. You can organize your system on the back end, but if there's any questions about QR codes too, I'm happy to help answer them.
I love it. Thank you, Kaylee. And she mentioned something in there, guys, it's super important. And Because again, with postcards, we have no idea if they were read, if they were delivered, or any of that. But the beauty is you can actually track it. You can track your ROI, and you can figure out which postcards are working, which ones are grabbing attention, which ones are not, and you can shift and pivot. We've not had that luxury before, other than when the phone would ring, right? And so this is a much better way for you to monitor on a closer level the specific marketing you're doing and to manage every dollar you're spending. So thank you so much, Kay. And I'm just calling you that because Brooke calls you that. So I don't know if that crossing the line
Totally
that's
fine.
bringing up your name. So, all right. So, so here's some more print. It's a little different, but it doesn't just have to be a postcard, guys. It could be the local separator at the market that could have a QR code, what's by Homeworth, with your branding on there, so that they scan that when they're in the line. One of our agents just did a free ice cream. And what I would encourage everybody to do on this moving forward, what's missing here? They did an amazing event. They had all of the parts here. But what's the one thing we could have added here to even, again, push? This was more for just this one day, I think. But, you know, again, if you had the QR code on all of your signs to find out more about the, you know, especially if you're putting the sign out a few days in advance or whatever, but everything, let's think about getting that QR code on all these different pieces. So traditional marketing. So here's some of the main topics as far as the postcards go. Just sold, listed, open house, CMA, a big one. What's my home worth? I have a buyer community, the neighborhood stuff that's going on, neighborhood events. We've got 4th of July going on this weekend. If you have a parade coming through your neighborhood, you could have done a postcard tied to a video about the details of the parade and a giveaway, and then they come meet you. So there's that triangle all coming together. First team startups, first team stats. So, you know, number one are UVPs like that, the magazines on the previous slide there. Seasonal holiday ones and home care tips. It's, you know, winter, let's do a roof checkup. And again, a postcard of that, driving them to see you. Maybe you're with a contractor or whatever it is, and you're going over some tips to keep the home, their home all up to date. So, so here are some of the samples of the ones that Kaylee and the marketing team, Kyle and crew have been working on. So thank you to all of you guys. So we have the You're Invited open house, the You're Invited grand opening. So we've got that one coming for you with the language on the back and the QR code and YouTube channel. We've got a market update coming. So, and again, this is wonderful because this takes straight from what First Team's already producing for you guys every month. You don't have to do the work, but you can get out there. And then on the back, come join me for an in-depth update on today's market. This, you could go through Stephen Thomas's report, or you could go through and break down all of the different cities or whatever you want to on there. But you could actually have that YouTube channel where I'm sorry, what was your name, Rashida?
Ruchika.
Ruchika. Okay, sorry, Ruchika. So I know Jeremiah said you're doing this, right? You're doing the updates?
Yes, I'm doing a market update every week.
Very good. Now, how do people find you currently on it?
I'm mostly active on Instagram.
Okay, very good. And so, and again, so that's part of the thing that we're finding too is again, traditional works to drive people there. We just have to be repetitious, have a brand that is unified and going out all the time to get people to finally go. The other thing here, guys, is people aren't going to just start scanning this and jumping onto your YouTube channel right away. It's going to take multiple times. So don't send this out and call to complain that you didn't get the listing because no one scanned your QR code on your first postcard. So this is just a process and a new way of branding and all of that. So good job, Ruchika.
Thanks.
So the just listed, same thing. Come see this home online now. Learn more about this exciting property. Here's what I find. I find we're doing virtual tours and stuff, but they're not connected to traditional marketing. There's nothing driving people to go see it online. There may be a sign writer at the property, which is great. But when you're getting out in the neighborhood, is there something like that previous postcard I shared from the Williamsons that gets people to want to go see this property? I would even say maybe we want to try to drop, maybe with the design team, we'll talk about maybe trying to make the front of this one an iPad similar to that with a little play button on there as well. So people are more curious when they look at it and flip it over to learn more. But we're covering all of the big basics, the just listeds, the market update, the first team pieces. Here's one that we just recently did, and we didn't have this done in time, so we didn't have our QR code on it. But in Anaheim Hills, Yorba Linda, and Corona, we just threw a big picnic in the park, and it was a huge success. We had 300 or so people that came for the day. We created some print materials, but we didn't get this done in time with the QR code and the video to tie it all together. But this is where this really works well, these events as well. So we have one big one, hopefully you've heard about. It's our upcoming Angel Game. So I will see if we can't get a flyer made with marketing. We already have some artwork done where we add a QR code and the same thing for those of you that want to invite your clients, because it is set up to be another event for you to invite people to come to. And again, to leverage this 3-step program. Send them an invitation, have them see you online, and then meet them at the event. Okay, so hopefully you guys, we're kind of going over this to where you're getting it and starting to make sense. The key is that we shift the traditional marketing from just news branding to something designed where they get to know you. And the hard part is doing those videos, right? And so some of you have known that you need to do videos for a long time and you're still not doing them. So it's kind of like we've got some of the people have been told a great strategy with door knocking and they just don't do it. Some of the people have been told great strategies with video and they just don't do it. So this is an option. If you're willing to do video like many of you are, then I want to help you tie together these 3 strategies. So if you Googled yourself now, and we already asked if you have a YouTube channel. So here's a couple people that do have YouTube channels that I found in the company. Mike Patel, who's in my office. We've been talking about this for a long time. Mike now does 2 videos a week. Mike has got clients from New York who called him to say, I want to buy from you. Obviously, you're the area expert. So they were nowhere near here. He didn't even send a postcard out. But as Rashika said, people are finding her online through various different ways. That's what happened to Mike. So he's built his YouTube channel and it's starting to pay off dividends. It takes a lot of work, right? Do we have the Whitneys on here by chance? They had no idea I was going to use theirs.
No.
No? Okay. Well, I'm a huge fan. They do an amazing job. And I took a screenshot of the cover because theirs is hilarious. I don't know. You've got to go check theirs out too. Guy does this intro video about them. And then they've got all of these great videos on there. And so they've got the header and the whole thing. So let me go to, okay. So the YouTube
They
channel
have one that they just got 9,000, I think, hits on one of them too, that they just did. 9,000
views. Wow.
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, so they do a great job. You can see they're using both Mike and them, the Whitneys are using the thumbnails. So this takes work, guys. This is not easy, right? So you got to do the video and then there's some editing to do them right and all of that. So this is a real deal. So I would, again, reach out to our freelancers if this is one of the ways you decide you want to go. But again, it's a way to predispose people to get to know you. And when you just see just the beginning of that video with Guy in there, you can't help but think he's a charming, nice, wonderful guy. And then you see in the content, again, and on all of that, how much of the area expert they are. And I'll show you another sample of that here shortly. A real critical broker paid tool is First Team's KV Core landing page. How many of you guys have used the landing page?
Anybody? I use it.
You do? Okay, Marcy.
Yeah.
You use it? Okay. So do you use the YouTube version?
I have not. I use mine for events, for registrations, for
Perfect.
I don't even know.
Okay,
blog.
so I want to encourage you to use this version, which is the YouTube version. So I just, when I found the Whitney's page, I went there and I took one of their videos and I used the KV Core YouTube lead generation landing page, which sounds exactly what you're looking for. So for example, I talked about the picnic. I could have that QR code go to this YouTube. I could drive them so that they're going to see this video. And KV Core also has a way to generate a QR code for this page so that you could have people drive here to find out more about the event, or as in this case, the market update. And then down below, what's cut off, unfortunately, and I apologize, is to add, you can decide to have them add their email address, name, phone number, or just, I think, email address. So you can have a call to action and a lead capture system built in tied to YouTube. I know that's a lot, but this is incredibly powerful if you can get your head around this on how to leverage all of these tools. And again, thanks to First Team for providing you guys with this. You still have to do the work with the YouTube video, but by leveraging this, again, you're going to be able to capture people, and you can have a drip campaign set to go out to the people who sign up for this event. So for this market update, I could have a market update drip campaign set up to go out automatically to follow up with those people who say they want to learn more or sign up for updates or whatever it might be. So any questions on that? Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this
Got
a
it.
lot of information?
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully you're doing all right. We're down to the last part. It's events and community. This is where the magic happens. So you've already been sending out consistent, high quality marketing pieces from the #1 marketing team in all of the United States. Let's just say the world, because they are. Thank you, guys. We have, and it's supporting your brand, your promise, what you're all about. And it's driving people, the most critical part, it's driving people to meet you online, to get to know you, to predispose you so that when you meet them, it's not cold. We're moving from cold to connected. The second part of that is you did do the YouTube channel. You consistently uploaded quality content. You have people that have had time to get to know you virtually. They feel they know you, right? You may not know them at all. You may not have any idea. Sometimes that can be creepy, right? But the idea is you're putting out good content and you're making a connection. Uh-oh, did I freeze? Okay.
No.
And so here it is. So now it's time to meet the people in your farm at an open house, a neighborhood mixer, or maybe a picnic like we just had. So I want you to I hope this helps tie this together. So you've got this postcard on the back. It's got the QR code, go RSVP, learn more about the picnic with the big call to action on the back. Then they go to the YouTube channel. They say, hey guys, it's Terry. We're going to have this great picnic down at Ronald Reagan Park on June 16th. We're going to have barbecue. We're going to have burlap bag racing, Frisbee golf, face painting, ice cream. It's going to be a great way to kick off summer. You're invited. We're taking care of everything. All you got to do is subscribe, fill in your email down below so I can make sure we've got plenty of food and ice cream for you. And I can't wait to see you at the picnic. And then that's a picture of our picnic at the check-in table where people signed in. So I hope, again, we're just about done here. There's a lot more I could go into about the events and all of that, because events are neighborhood mixers. That's a very, very powerful piece. If you live in a neighborhood and you own your farm, I want to recommend to you that you host a quarterly neighborhood mixer. You invite all of the neighbors, especially you're going to have to door knock and invite the people who just moved into the neighborhood. You're going to adopt a buyer because you're going to now host a mixer to bring all of those people together. Again, you can do the postcard with the YouTube video to support the mixer and then share those photos and all of that back with everybody. Here's just a couple different types of events and communities. And again, I was up so late last night, guys. You can see I started to drift off, I think, when I got to ice cream truck. There's endless uses, and we'll come up with more specific details for you if you would like. But open house, obviously, schools, new listings coming on the market, networking with our own agents. How many of you have ever been to a leading RE event, a luxury portfolio event, a Christie's event? Next time you do that, don't walk away with a business card. Walk away with a plan, and that plan is to use this strategy, this integrated strategy, to make sure every one of those agents, those 500, those 1,000 agents at that event, now think of you as the #1 referring agent for Orange County. There's nobody else doing that, right? And it's a huge missed opportunity. There's specialty groups. You know, you may be a surfer, you may be an artist, you may be whatever it is. You can do specific things for your groups to support your groups. FSBO's expired, it goes on. And like I said, I literally ran out of runway with this whole thing. So there's a bunch of tools. I want to give a shout out to Jared, Marcus, everybody at Western Resources. They've got some, we've got the best title reps, but we've got amazing tools too. So make sure you use Title Toolbox and that you're getting all the leads. They've got all the information of the people in your farm. That is another no-brainer. If you haven't purchased those leads, I think it's 6 cents a record. I think we have a title guy on here, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And who is it?
Ron.
Ron. Can you tell them a little bit about that? Because if I'm a farmer in my neighborhood, what can I get from you?
Actually, with Title Toolbox, there's a lot you can get from it. Right now, I'm working on building some packages for some realtors that you can get next sellers. And what the company does is they use an algorithm to find these people within your marketing area, your farm area, and they run that algorithm, and it'll pull up next sellers, people most likely next to sell. So they put the criteria in. So it's a preset thing. It's relatively easy to use. You can find empty nesters. So let's say if your farm area has 500 to 1,000, people in it, you can whittle it down, and you're doing micro target marketing with this to get down to maybe 30 to 40 really solid, good leads. And you're basically playing the probabilities. These people are most likely next to sell, either because they're an empty nester or just because they may sell based on the time that they've lived there. You can also find things. This is one that I think is really interesting. As we're kind of hitting the peak of the market, you've got out-of-state investors that might be interested in selling their property at the peak of the market, cash out, and then get into another property. Things like that. There's a ton of stuff you can do on there. And when you were talking about knowing your farm area, this is a tool that you can use to really get to know it. I have always told realtors, if you work a farm area, you need to learn a little bit about the loan business also. If you go back, I'm a big history guy, so if you go back into the 90s, you found a very large percentage of people on adjustable rate mortgages. A lot of those were tied to LIBOR, the most volatile money index there is. And those are people that I would have been marketing to back in the 90s to get them to refi, to get off of those adjustable rate mortgages. But if you're a realtor, some of these people are going to get themselves into trouble. It's inevitable, and they will do it. So if you know a little bit about the loan side of the business also, that can be another way to generate some business.
Well, excellent. So thank you, Ron. And so please reach out to your Western Resources title rep, reach out to your homeowner's first rep also to learn about the mortgages as he talked about. And again, you can purchase this data, guys, so you have specific information, email addresses, names, all of that, of those people in the neighborhood that you're trying to get to know. Remember, that's you getting their information. And the key here is we want them to know us, but you have to do both. Next, so new technology. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but I just want to say, Ron mentioned something that talks about next sellers and some other great tools. Stephen and Cam are developing some technology that will be coming our way soon, and it will be best in class, something that you've never seen. And it takes a lot of what we're talking about and almost automates it for you. So, I don't think Stephen's on the call, but I think we're just around the corner. I think we're starting to beta test it, and we hope to see some great stuff. So stay tuned for that, guys. It's going to be incredible. And again, we talked about what groups this will work for. I hope you all get it. It's really going to work for pretty much every group. And to summarize, this was that takeaway I want you to think about with everything you do in marketing from now on. Is not just print, or not just an open house, or not just an online. Are you integrating them all together? That same message, is there one message going out that links all three together to predispose people so that they think they know you, like you, and trust you, so you become the agent of choice? So now let's ask this again. We kind of talked about at the very beginning. If we're just about done here, guys. If you knew everybody in your neighborhood, would you still feel the same about door knocking? If you knew everybody well and they all knew you, would you still feel the same about door knocking?
No.
Okay, right? If people welcomed you and you were throwing these community events and they knew you and they knew Joy, you knew the market better than anybody, and you had all of the buyers. Our sellers in our neighborhoods, a lot of times when they go to that neighborhood expert, it's because they think that they've got, they think they know what they're doing, but they also a lot of times think that they have the buyers, right? So we have to know who the buyers are. We've got tools within First Team, Sneak Preview, the buyer pipeline, a ton of different tools for you to use that information and give you that advantage. But again, I think we all agree it's when it's cold, that's where the issue is. So we have to figure out how to move the needle quicker so that we're getting people who don't know you to know you, like you, and trust you. That's all I got today, guys. I hope, was this helpful? Did you get something out of this?
Yes.
Yes.
Very much. Yes. Thank you, Terry.
Cool. Yeah. And again, marketing has been wonderful with this. And I'm real excited about the different pieces that, they've obviously got to create templates for teams and for individuals and for logos and all of that. But I want to give a big shout out to marketing for helping to move this along. So I look forward to more great pieces. You guys have any questions at all?
I have one, Terry.
Yeah.
So I use KV Core, the landing pages.
Yep.
I didn't even know there was an option for the YouTube version of a landing page.
Yep.
Is there, I just messaged Tina if she's done a training on it, or how can I get?
Yes. So all you do, Greg, is what you do is you go, when you're on the landing page, when you pull that up in KV Core, go to the very top left and it'll say page type. There's a little drop down. Just click on that and you'll see all the different types of landing pages.
And YouTube is in there. Okay. Well,
yeah,
that's
it's video plus lead, I think is what it's called.
Okay. Video.
Greg, there might be a how-to video on KV Core's hub. I'll shoot the link in the chat too. That could help as well.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Kaylee. Terry, I read something just last week that it said more people spend time watching videos on YouTube than watching movies on Netflix.
Yeah, I believe that.
You know what, great. So, and I do the same thing. So I know this works. How many of you guys have looked at property out of state and you've looked at different, anybody on the call looked at properties out of state and you've looked at different areas and you find realtors who are talking about the neighborhood? Anybody done that? No. We've all done the things where you're trying to figure out how to fix my barbecue, right? Or whatever. Right. YouTube's amazing. It's like the ultimate encyclopedia for kind of all information, but I don't think we are taking advantage of it enough to put ourselves front and center at no cost. Again, the one hurdle is getting over the doing video. And if we can do that, you guys, we're handing you the great material, the great content. Greg, I can't wait to see your YouTube video, man, because if you guys know Greg, he is an amazing guy, very funny, wonderful personality, and would just be great on YouTube. And so let your personality shine. And yeah, I look forward to seeing that one, man.
Thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll work on it.
And by the way, Greg, you mentioned KV Core and YouTube. Well, next week we have KV Core landing pages and squeeze pages. Tina Yamas, which is on here, and she's going to be running that and is going to teach you in depth and how to generate leads using the landing pages and squeeze pages. And that's next Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. I know. I was like, oh, everyone's in luck. This was like perfect timing that Terry was training on this, because now he kind of set the stage for me. And so next week, yeah, please join me, because I'm going to be showing you how to do lead generation with multiple squeeze pages on your Facebook, as well as creating some landing pages for call to action.
Cool.
Next Wednesday.
And I do want to give a plug too, also to that angel game that we have. It's July 30th. And again, we're doing this for you guys. Some of you have been a part of when we do it. We've had over 100 of just our own agents in the past. This time we're opening it up for you to bring your clients. And so really want to encourage you to consider it. It's July 30th. We're doing a huge tailgate party. Love to have a bunch of the offices represented there so we can get a good cornhole tournament going and show how Anaheim Hills dominates no, we'll have a good time. We'll go to the game and there's fireworks afterwards. So it's kind of turnkey and it's $28. And I've been saying, hey, for $280, you can invite, you can get 10 tickets. You and a partner and 8 of your good clients and have a turnkey fun day at the ballpark. So please try to take advantage of that.
Really appreciate you putting that on, Terry. Huntington Beach is looking forward to attending.
HB is representing, man. I'm excited. There's a lot of you guys coming. I think we got like 30 or more. So I'm looking forward to it.
We're excited.
Yeah. Is that it, Greg?
All right. Yeah, if there's no more questions, that would be it for today. So anyways, this will be later on Together We Are First Team on first place. So this is recorded. Thank you, Terry Karges, as always, wealth of information. Just an awesome job again. We appreciate you. Tina, we're gonna be seeing you next week on this. And we look forward to that as well. Thank you everybody for being part of First Team Real Estate and part of today. We'll see you next time.
Bye guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good one.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.